Tell somebody to get up and leave. Yeah, we'll talk about it. And we are live, folks. Welcome to the Sit Down Standard, the podcast celebrating all the amazing things you can do while sitting, whether it's watching movies, enjoying television, or playing games. I'm one of your hosts, David Bray. I'm joined, as always, by Gerald Bales.
Hi.
And Jordan Peterson.
I'm going to let it slide since it's a late night.
Okay. We are recording this a little late. But as always, I want to say, if you're listening to the audio version, go to YouTube. You can watch our video podcast. This week, we are going to be tackling Batman versus Superman.
It's Batman v Superman.
Okay,
if
whatever.
You see the title correctly.
Okay, sorry. So first things first, what we want to do is, normally we would do catch up with everybody, see what you're doing and what you're doing. But we all just got done watching Batman versus v Superman. Sorry.
Thank you. Dawn of Justice.
Okay, Dawn of Justice. Dawn of Justice. And first what we want to do is we're going to give a non-spoiler review, and then we'll go into spoiler territory, and then maybe we'll do some other stuff afterwards, depending on how long it goes. So,
okay, cool.
So let's start. Our review of Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Got the full title there.
A Zack Snyder production film.
Yes. Let's start with...
the dawning of the justice. Did you feel like justice was dawned?
I don't know. I'm going to say as a general... Okay, so me going into this movie, as everybody knows, if you're a avid listener of the podcast, I was excited for this movie. And I will say this movie... I had tempered expectations because a lot of negative reviews were out there, and it actually fell below my tempered expectations, which probably tells you I didn't... It's not that I didn't enjoy the movie. It's just the movie has a lot of problems. There is some good things, and I would say if you're a comic book fan, go see the movie. I mean, you're going to go see it anyways. And there are parts. I would say there is a good movie in this movie, but it's surrounded by so much not good movie. But first thing I want to ask you guys is, we do the thumbs out. I think we're all going to go thumbs down, right?
Whoa. You don't know me.
Okay, here, real quick. Let's just do this.
Bro.
Okay, so thumbs down is a bad movie. Thumbs to the side is a good movie, and thumbs up is a great movie. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
All three thumbs down. Now, it's easy to crap on this for obviously a bunch of different reasons, but let's start with something positive. What did you guys actually, again, we're not going to spoil anything. What did you guys like about the movie? Let's start with that. Let's start with some positive.
I guess where they took the movie with like Batman's character, without spoiling the movie, like I like the direction they took evolving Batman as like a character compared to like the Nolan Batman and like the Tim Burton Batman and all that stuff. So it makes sense how he is in this movie to some extent. I like that. They did a lot of fan service in this too. Like, there are a couple moments in the film where your inner nerd is like, oh yeah, they showed that thing, and that was cool. But other than that,
I thought it was cool
Jordan?
that Batman used a couple guns a couple times, which he doesn't usually do, which is cool. There were actual shots, like you could tell the frame like pretty much came out of a comic book.
Right.
That's Zack Snyder.
It actually felt like it would have been more. Did you guys see the first Hulk?
Yes.
Where they like actually
the
did
Ang
it
Lee
like
Hulk?
with like comic book frames, and they would slide it around. It was really cool.
The transitions
I felt like that
were...
would almost work better in this movie to make it feel, because it felt all over the place, and that would make it make more sense because it is all over the place. And like a comic book would transition just abruptly like that, it just felt weird in a movie scenario. But sorry, I can't. I'm trying to stay positive. And I go right to the negative. Well, I mean, overall, I like Ben Affleck, and just in general.
Yeah, his Batfleck was good. I liked it.
Yeah, he was good. I also enjoyed. I like I said, we'll get to the bad stuff, but I think what I enjoyed about the movie is it is definitely a roller coaster ride. It's definitely a spectacle. But really, and that's
the effects looked good.
Really, it did. Like the special effects and
the explosions.
Yeah, and that's why. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what Zack Snyder does. I mean, at the end of the day, it's hard for me to think he was going to do anything differently than what he's done in other movies. But I would still, like I said, go see it if you're not really interested in. Here's the thing: I liked Batfleck enough that I enjoyed him in the movie, and that I would say Batman is a big part of this. I thought they were gonna kind of not give him as much because you've got the Suicide Squad movie coming out, which apparently he's in, and then he's supposed to be signed up for some additional movies. So I thought he was going to get I thought he was going to be essentially, although it's called Batman v Superman.
On the title, man.
No, I know, but I still thought he wasn't going to be featured as much as he was, and I think that is a credit to the writing and all of.
Was there more him than Superman? I feel like there was.
Probably.
Yeah.
Now, I will say a couple things. The reason I didn't, I guess, get into the bad parts of it, which are unfortunately varied and many.
The meaty part.
The part that frustrates me the most about this movie is there's lots of things, and I'm not going to spoil. We'll get into spoilers. If you've seen the movie, then you can join in on that. But two big problems. Lack of consequences in this movie.
Yeah.
There is just things happen, and it feels like wipe and rinse and wipe away.
And big things happen.
Yeah, and that's
really big things.
right? And
it
that's
just
my
doesn't
point. Is
matter.
like there seems like there's a lack of consequence, even on smaller conflicts within the movie. And I think we've talked about this, and you talked about that. You thought it was just going to feel rushed. This movie is insanely rushed. There's so many pacing issues. We were taking notes on the way home from the movie theater, and when we did our Star Wars episode 7, I was able to basically do beat for beat. I would never be able to do this because we change location, we change characters, we change scenery, we change tone, we change setting.
It's just too quickly.
It's so fast. It's this at 11, and not just in like explosions and action. It's at 11 at, for instance, Game of Thrones. There's a lot of storylines going on in that. There's a tremendous amount of characters. There's a tremendous amount of story threads, but they know that they have to strike a balance of, you need to check in with the characters every once in a while, but you also don't want to salt, pepper. Like you have to take care, because then things don't have consequence. It's just generally it's a pacing problem for me. So the biggest criticism I can give the movie, and I don't know if it's necessarily his fault. I think the success of Marvel is a lot of reason for this movie having its pacing issues. Is pacing and lack of consequences. What about you guys? What did you guys not like about the movie?
I think that I don't think it's Marvel's fault. I think Marvel did it right, where they took all the build-up and all the story in separate movies, and then did a big one where you could rush it through the whole thing because you already knew and cared about all the characters. Where this one, since they're doing it backwards, where they're doing the big movie that's introducing things, and then they're going to break it off into the small ones. Well, yeah, Man of Steel, but it just didn't work the same. It was just, like you said, it felt very rushed. Plus, do we really need to go over Batman's backstory again?
I know, when they showed that at the very beginning of the movie.
When they started that, I was like, uh-oh. Crap.
I actually didn't mind that. I thought it had bigger symbolism as the movie went on. But I think the one thing I will say about Zack Snyder is that he does a good job of capturing very cinematic moments, if that makes sense. Not just for action sequences, but memorable shots. Like, because again, I'm not spoiling anything. Bruce Wayne's parents die in the beginning of the movie, right? What? No, but like the
and at Zorro again, they kind of brought that back to the original,
which is cool. And then like her pearls, the falling to the ground.
Iconic scenes. That
those are cool. It's cool to see a take. It's not a tremendously different take, but it's cool to see that in a very cinematic way instead of just two people being gunned down. But again,
I would also argue about your 11 having turned everything up to 11 the whole time. As far as pacing, it is, but as far as in action and things, it's not.
No, but that's what I'm trying to say. It's not just turn to 11 on action. It's turn to 11. Okay, so for instance, pacing is the idea that obviously you create lulls so that moments of not just action but drama hit home, right? That's how you create suspense. And that's why it becomes, in all instances, sometimes boring throughout the movie, because it's constantly like, here's a new fact, and it's too much. It's like, whoa, like, calm down, like, stop jumping from character to character to try to keep telling me, like, it's just, it feels like it's trying so hard to tell so much in a short window. That's what this movie suffers from. It has to serve too many masters, and that's why Marvel. Again, I don't think it's their fault that this is a bad movie. I think it is a creature of that success of those movies.
Yeah, this movie is the exact problem what's wrong with the movie industry, right? Warner Brothers looks at Marvel, Disney, whatever, and it's like, we want some of that Avengers money, but now. So yeah, you can't really blame Zack Snyder, because Man of Steel wasn't a perfect movie, obviously, but it was way better than this movie. And that movie, he had the time to develop Superman as a character from the ground up on his own, and it wasn't terrible. It wasn't my favorite, like, by any stretch. But this is what's problem. The producers were like, we want some of that Marvel money now. Make a movie, make it work, shove as much as you can into the screen at once. Because we want some of that money, and then we'll do the background, like you said, later. And it really sucks, because I'm not a big fan of these characters. I wasn't a comic guy growing up, but it must suck for like those really diehard Batman, Superman fans.
He's a huge Justice League fan.
See, I love comics. I love Justice League, and I was just totally disappointed by the whole thing.
Yeah,
it
that
didn't
sucks.
really I didn't, like I said, a Dawn of Justice. I didn't even really feel like there was a Dawn of Justice. They briefly talk about it.
Yeah.
We should get everybody together.
But it's just that little thing. It's like,
that.
hey, you know that thing called the Justice League? We're gonna have that. This is just the start of that. We'll put in the title just so people know.
Right, and I think
it's treating the fans like they're idiots because they can't handle a slow build up like they can with Marvel.
Right.
And it must suck. And it's greed at its highest level.
I think they felt probably also that they couldn't do it exactly like Marvel because everybody,
right.
Well, one, they missed the train because they're starting slow.
Yep.
And two, like everybody be like, oh, they're just copying Marvel. We're just going to see.
But what's wrong with that? Because they're copying Marvel now. It's just.
I know.
Right, but I do agree that they are going to make a tremendous amount of money on this movie. Like, no doubt. Now, they probably will lose out on some money because of the.
Do you think they'll break even?
Yeah, absolutely. It'll make a tremendous amount of money. Internationally, this movie will make a ton of money.
I'm sure, but
because you got to think about it. Like
single views, though. I don't think anyone's going back to see
No. But I'm saying for instance, Transformers in China made a tremendous amount of money. It makes up for a bad movie. Transformers, the most recent one, I didn't even go see because with the Marky Mark, and I heard it was terrible. Yeah. But it doesn't matter. The movie still made it was a huge blockbuster for the studio. So at the same time, you've got, like we talk about, money and creative, ingenuity and all those things. They all have to go together. I think why, and this is why Marvel's at fault. Not like they wanted to. Marvel somehow has the ability, it feels like, to strike a balance of being a money-making movie, but at the same time having the ability to make an objectively good movie. I don't know. It's just.
You know what else Marvel does is and we've talked about this before, but each movie kind of has a genre, it feels like. Mm-hmm. It's not the genre. It's a superhero.
It's a heist
movie, right. It's superhero slash.
Buddy cop.
Right. And
other than the Avengers, which Avengers is just like superhero, which is fine.
Right. Yeah. Because that's the purpose of those Avenger movies. But this one didn't feel like it didn't even feel like a superhero movie. I don't know, it just felt like a pile of steaming poo.
All right, so we'll leave it on that. That's going to be our spoiler-free review. Unfortunately, not that great. But now we're going to get into full spoilers. So again, if you have not seen the movie, go see the movie, or don't go see the movie, I guess, if you listen to our non-spoiler review. And then you can come back and listen, because we're going to get deep into spoilers. Okay, so first things first, I think the elephant in the room that we have to address is, really? You had to kill Superman?
We're going to start with that?
Yeah, I think we have to, because that's the big thing. I mean, the death of Superman, like, it's such a crappy...
And the worst part about it is he's not dead. That's the worst part. You can't kill Superman because he's one of the main guys in the Justice League, right? And they show at the very end, right before credits, he's not dead. Right. And they spend so much time.
But why even introduce Doomsday at all, first of all, in this movie?
It was a bad choice.
It was a bad choice. But Doomsday, when they introduce him, they have to introduce the death of Superman, because that was the big deal with Doomsday.
Yeah, but I don't think fans know that.
They just did it so that they could have these frames from these comic books.
Oh, that's like a checkoff list, like a big comic checkoff list. Doomsday kills Superman. Check.
Right. And if you look at some of the frames, like where they're doing what do they call those? The grave scene at the end, funeral. When they're doing the funeral and they pull the flag up and it's the gray Superman. I mean, that is exactly a frame from the comic
familiar,
book.
Yeah.
And there's several instances at that end scene, and I was just like, God, is this movie ever going to end?
It's just those boxes, yeah. And I think you were mentioning the same thing. I was mentioning the same thing. It's like,
there's no consequences.
Will not end, yeah.
No, well, that, and then there's just no consequences. Again, this movie has such a big problem with consequences. Nothing happens in this movie.
Yeah,
nothing matters. I mean,
no. What happens at the very end of the movie is Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman all meet up. That's what happens.
No, okay. So, all right, now we'll get back to addressing the Superman problem, dying, but he's obviously not going to die. But well, let's jump. I just wanted to address that.
Do the 4?
No, that's what I was actually thinking. I'm like, that would be interesting. The 4. You have the actual Steel.
Yeah, the Man of Steel.
You have Superboy.
Right.
You have the Superman that's like the futuristic
cool guy with the glasses.
Yeah.
What do you mean do the 4?
Okay,
Sorry,
after Superman died, there was this run of comic books that essentially created 4 different it was like alternate realities.
Also not in the same universe.
Well, no, it was the same universe. It was like the death of him created these 4 other super
on the
characters.
same verse.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was in the same. It was before the 52. It was way before
wait. This is back in the early 90s, yeah. But I thought, that would be interesting. Like, that's a really bold choice. But of course they're not going to do that.
They can't do that.
No, they can't. And it's just silly. But, okay, so what do you want to start with, Gerald? Since I really just wanted to address that, because I was like,
For one,
Like,
this is the longest Chrysler commercial I've ever seen.
There is a ton of Chrysler.
From him driving the Jeep at the beginning, which, by the way, if everyone's seen the stupid Super Bowl Renegade commercial, the Jeep Renegade,
Yeah.
it's the same cut from the movie. And I remember watching that commercial with you and being like, oh, this is a fun little commercial. There's no way Bruce Wayne would drive a Jeep Renegade.
He does.
He does. And there's Chargers, there's Challengers, there's Chrysler 200 all throughout the whole movie. It's stupid.
I want to say with the opening sequence, though, I do like the opening sequence
He's like going in when everyone else is running away.
Yeah, I like I like the idea of Batman running in and the little girl and saving the guy's legs. Like, it all pays off narratively.
I think they could have done it in a better way with a flashback instead of that being the introduction of the thing and then just being like 18 months later.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy that.
Later. No, it's stupid. It didn't feel like a complete thought. It just felt like I'm thinking this. Like, it felt like it was still on a drawing board and they were just they're like, oh yeah, this will be the first scene. Okay, this will be the second scene. It didn't feel like a story that was being told at all.
But it creates Batman's motivation too.
Yeah, but you can share Batman's. We all know who Batman is, and everyone in that theater knows who Batman is. Everybody knows he's a good guy, vigilante, blah blah blah. We could have gone through a couple scenes that made some sense, and then flash back to this event where once he sees Superman flying by, and then it flashes back to this time, and it would have made some kind of just made sense. It just would have flowed. There was zero flow at the beginning of the movie. I got bored, like an hour and a half in.
So I feel Man of Steel too.
And I was getting tired, and I just said, screw it. I just went to sleep.
I can't believe you fell asleep.
I just went to sleep, and then I woke up, and Batman and Superman were fighting, and I was like, okay, this is what I came for. I finished it out for that.
Right.
But I didn't care. I was just like, this is.
But you
stupid.
saw the first scene with Batman, and that was a cool scene. I thought the scene where he's like
How are the bats making him fly?
Okay.
David and I looked at each other. I'm like,
there's a couple WTF moments in this movie that I was just like,
there were bats apparently creating enough wind. There was enough bats.
Lifting the child Bruce Wayne
he mentioned
80-pound child.
He mentioned something. I think he says it's something about a dream. This is the problem. Zack Snyder's movies generally, and this movie confirmed it. You take your movies way too serious. Like, this movie at times when they're having dialogue, I'm like, this sounds like it's a superhero movie, man. Like, it's not Schindler's List. Like, you do not need to make every single utterance of a syllable just
have meaning,
dark and brooding.
Yeah, it's just like, the part. Okay, there's a part in the very beginning. Again, we're in spoilers. The part with Superman is in the bathtub. He comes home and he's like, I didn't kill anybody, and it's just, she's like, I know, and like. He gives her, and he's just like looking at her and so intent. I'm like, this is not what I'm looking for. Right. Like, I'm not looking for Superman. Here's the thing. I appreciate the internal struggle of Superman having to deal with the idea, like they talk about in the movie. It's a real interesting, like, you don't get to choose to be we get to choose if you're a hero. Like, you're not a god. I actually like that story. Like, we didn't ask for you. Thank you, but we didn't ask for you. And maybe, and this is the whole motivation with Batman, maybe we shouldn't, and she even says it. But again, there's a part when she's talking in Congress, the senator from Kentucky, it's just so ham-fisted. It's like, here's the exact thing I want you to think with just saying what I want you to think. And it's just like, you can deliver that in a way that is not so on the nose. But this, again, the movie suffers from subtlety. There is no subtlety in this movie.
Nope.
They're going so fast. This movie is so fast.
They don't have time to be subtle.
They jump out. Okay,
and then
not for our stupid audiences here.
I don't know if it's necessarily a stupid thing. It's just, if we had to, cover our full entire thoughts of the Batman movie in 15 minutes, we would be jumping back and forth and not talking about the same things
and
over.
Like I said, if you were reading a comic book, that is kind of how it goes. Right. You turn the page and now you're in Egypt. And you know what I mean? And it's got some scenes and you do the Egypt storyline and then you turn the page and you're in New York and you get some scenes. And I wonder if you watch it with that frame of mind, if it would make more sense or at least be more enjoyable. But here's my question. Kryptonite was found on the bottom of the Indian Ocean, but the people that found it were using snorkels.
Kryptonite's not poisonous to humans, right?
No, I know, but how far? They were like, it was at the bottom of the Indian Ocean.
Oh, no,
that sounds like it's pretty deep.
I think they were just being dramatic about it.
Yeah, it wasn't that far down.
It was just like some kids just pulled it up.
Dug it up, yeah.
And then they just broke it off. Okay, they broke it off, and then Batman has to use superpowered lasers to cut it into something.
I guess, and I don't like the whole storyline where the senator is blocking his import of the mineral, and he just does it anyway. It's like,
Again,
Why did all that matter?
no consequences.
Oh.
Yeah, why did all that matter?
No consequences.
His
Batman-
strong talking to her in his house, and all, none of that mattered.
Okay, so at one point, Batman shoots the tracker on the boat, and then they like blow up everything on the boat, and then except for the one piece that stays.
Oh, on
with
the truck, right? The
tracker
truck,
on it.
yeah.
the truck. I'm just like, come on.
That's
Like,
another thing I
by the
want
way-
to... Yeah, we got to address this.
Batman kills people in this
Oh,
movie,
he
guys.
does.
Yeah,
he
and-
very much kills people. And I remember the trailer was like he's smashing people's heads on the concrete. Well, I mean that guy's probably dead, at least paralyzed. It's like no, he shoots guns and kills people
and runs
Yeah.
people over.
There's-
and
yeah,
blows
there's
up
no doubt.
cars.
It's brutal, man.
And this is the thing about it. Again, this comes back to the idea of no consequences. If you, one of the few things Batman has, he has one rule, right? And that's the thing that's interesting between Superman and Batman. Superman is, and I talked to you about this earlier. Superman is what always makes the right decision. Is the best of all of
Boy
us.
Scout.
He is the best of all of us, and that's why you don't like him, right? Batman is the means always justify the ends. I will do whatever it takes
Except killing people.
except killing people. And if you remove that, then he's
I mean, I wouldn't
But, like-
say he never kills people.
no, but I'm saying that's his one. I
Killed
mean,
Joker in
traditional,
Batman 92.
right? Okay, stop. You know what I'm talking about. As a general audience rule to people in movies, we've been trained as this idea that he has one rule. He will do anything but kill you.
And I don't mind, like, I was mentioning that before, like, I like where they took his character. Like, he's branding people now. He's been broken so much
Right.
where he's just like, screw these bad people. I don't care if I kill them anymore. But I want to see that movie first. I want to see what brought Batman to that point before this movie.
Yeah,
I wish Dan
then you're
was-
just like, it's so out of place for him.
Right. I wish Dan was here because he's a big Batman guy, but I remember him talking about like Batman used to be a lot darker.
Oh, yeah,
and, like,
definitely.
I wonder if this is more kind of a callback to that original Batman
Absolutely.
that killed and
Well,
branded and those things.
In the Dark Knight Returns, which is kind of what this version of Batman, the Frank Miller version, he is he's broken. He sees less in humanity, and that is fine. But if he's just gonna light up anybody, it's just one of those things where it's again lack of consequences. When there's, you want the superhero, and this is what they do with Superman. They create, he's a god, but everyone has a weakness, right? And Batman doesn't feel like the only weakness at this point that he has is that he's not Superman.
Right.
Right.
You know,
Like the part where they blow up the like senator hearing where Lex Luthor blows it
The
up.
Capitol building doesn't have bomb sniffing dogs. Give me a freaking break.
but also then like it's
So stupid.
Did that ever come up again?
No, that happened, and like,
it's like okay.
the plan was to frame Superman for doing that, but it was never like.
I don't think that's what it was.
It was
I don't
done.
think it was that.
No, he was just like,
No, I think it was
Lex
the
Luthor
idea-
was just like screw you guys.
No, but here's I think, and this is the problem. I see a good idea here, but they don't have enough time to create subtlety for you to understand it. And he says it. He's like, I don't know if it was I didn't see the bomb, because he could clearly
didn't
see
look
it,
for it, right?
or he didn't look for it. But here's the subtlety. He doesn't want to look at, and this is what his dad talked to him about at the top of the mountain, the consequences of saving someone hurts another, right? And the idea, I didn't want to look at the guy, I didn't want to face the consequence that I had because I saved the world. I didn't save this guy's legs. And he doesn't even want to look over there when he has the ability. And that's the subtlety he's trying to say is, I need to learn to face my own demons, realize that I'm not all good, that I can do evil. But those subtleties aren't explored, and that's why he didn't look for the bomb.
Right, I get that, but why did Lex blow up the Capitol building
To create a scenario that plays up that, to play, well, one, he
against
killed-
Superman? The people against Superman,
Right, and that's
Right.
and I'm sure it's, you know, if this is another thing. Okay, so they don't explain this, and it's another thing. Obviously, he learns who Superman is. He learns. That's
How?
just given. How did you figure that
He
out?
just says Clark Kent. It's like, well, how do
I
you
just
know?
don't enjoy
Lex
when
Luthor was a horrible
He saw
bad
past
guy.
the glasses.
Lex Luthor's a horrible bad guy in general, but I think it was done
I didn't
poorly.
enjoy Jesse Eisenberg's version of this. I don't enjoy the wacko. I thought he was gonna
the
play.
psychopath mannerisms and stuff. Kind of
Yeah,
thing.
and like
Who
you
did
just
it in the first ones? Was it like Kevin Spacey or something?
Kevin Spacey-
Gene
Hackman first, and then
Gene Hackman first. Yeah, that's the kind of Lex Luthor feel that I
you
go
want
through.
the
Super
Playboy
business. Yeah,
Yeah, that's like a
just-
crazy
it's like a bad Bruce Wayne.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that would be awesome. But yeah, this guy was just.
and ruthless and doesn't care about other people's, only interested in benefiting himself, whatever
And
benefits himself.
I
And
was reading some reviews and they were like, "Oh, he was doing like his own version of Joker," and I was just like, "I wish he was doing a version of Joker." I was
Might
like,
have
this
been better.
Sucks. Like it was
Well-
just kind of like I'm weird. I'm confused.
What was
like,
his plan,
his
though?
speech that he
His
gave
plan was to get rid of the God by using, or killing the Batman, right, with Superman.
No, his idea is he's setting up a scenario where people question whether Superman should be Superman, whether we need a Superman.
Right.
That's the idea. And then, as a backup plan, he has Bruce Wayne kill him. And then he has this abomination, Doomsday. So he has like multiple plans.
Yeah, what was his plan if Doomsday won?
What do you mean?
If Doomsday killed Superman, what was his plan?
Well, his idea, I think, again, this isn't explained, but I think he has some type of power over Doomsday because it's blood of my blood.
Oh, that's stupid. They
don't explain that.
It's like, what's his plan?
He's just a bad guy.
What's
He's
his
just
end game here? Yeah.
Right. And like, okay, so a couple things I wanted to talk about with generally with Batfleck. I like the costume. The costume looks great. I also enjoyed the fact that they shot him in the head and he just shook it off. Like,
I like that they explained his voice at the very beginning of the movie. They're like, "Oh, voice modulator. That's what makes my voice sound stupid."
And I like that. I actually like that his voice is different because they don't want to do the Christian Bale thing, right? But they don't want to make him talk like Ben Affleck. So they got to give him something a little bit more brooding, a little bit more scary.
I remember seeing that in the trailer and be like, "That's stupid. He sounds like a robot." But I mean, I'm glad they explained it at least. You know.
So when you guys say you like his outfit, are you talking about the rubber suit or the armor suit?
His regular suit.
I like both.
And the armor suit.
I like the armor suit.
Yeah.
The thing about the one thing about this movie that also frustrated me. Again, there's varied things that frustrated me. The heroes in this movie never make the decision that seems the obvious decision. Like Superman should just explain to Batman, like, hey, Lex Luthor has my mom and he sent me to kill you. Like he doesn't do it. Like he continues to fight him. Mm-hmm. Like it's just that thing. And like Batman, it feels like those two characters are not just brutes. They have brains, right?
Right.
So there would be some back and forth. Like it's just
he immediately concedes to Lex, like, yeah, I guess I'll do what you said. It's like
like,
and at the end they're just like, oh well, your mom's name's Martha too. Okay, we're on the same
all
side.
All of our grievances gone.
No, but
you killed dozens of my people. Gone. We have the same mom's name. So dumb.
That was so stupid.
I never caught on to both of their moms' names are Martha. I never picked that up.
I never did either, but it was just the stupidest thing to be like, oh, we're just like each other. Our moms are both named Martha.
And that's why.
And how unoriginal is DC that they made their two main characters have the mom as the same first name.
That's funny though. I've never, not until this movie, have I realized Martha Wayne and Martha Kent. I never, ever realized
I wonder if that follows true through like
all of the books,
canon.
maybe.
I wonder if that's canon.
So, and that's the other bigger problem in this movie is all the superheroes feel like immediately jump to violence. Immediately.
Yep.
Like, just fight each other. Like, right now.
Well, no, Wonder Woman dresses up in a nice dress and steals stuff.
No, and that's, see, up to that point, I was like, okay, I kind of like where this movie is going. Like, Batman kind of feels like, and they make references. This is the thing that makes me so frustrated. This movie actually ham-fists a lot of now movies that will come after it,
right?
Because they talk about, oh, Batman's been fighting crime for 20 years, and it's just like
they show the Robin costume with haha jokes on you, Batman.
Yeah, and now they have to explain it.
Have that movie before this one, because maybe that's the movie that explains why he's such a dick now.
No, it will. It has to. I think Robin dies. They're going to do Death in the Family.
I think it's the Robin turning into the Joker thing because with the Jason Todd, because
Death in the
he
Family.
was saying that how many stay heroes. That little line was
right.
Kind of
but again, the only people who get that are the people who are nerds, and they're going to go see your movie anyways. All you're doing is confusing your audience. There is a bunch of dialogue in this movie, and again, because dialogue is flying at you so quickly, and so many different people are saying important things, because again, the movie feels just fast. There's no time for jokes. Very few jokes. There's
zero. There's a very few, like 2 or 3 jokes in this whole entire movie.
Yeah, and when they're hilarious. Like, I'm a friend of your son's. Oh, I figured the whole cape thing. Like, that's hilarious. Like,
but again, like Marvel is obviously way more humorous, but it just kind of flows into it, but this is just like they have too much. They don't have enough time for that. It's all about serious, like you said, ham fisting. They don't have time for jokes.
It's not the time thing too. To cut things off early, like, okay, so Wonder Woman goes, so Bruce Wayne steals that information, right? And then Wonder Woman steals it from him.
Right.
And then instead of having any kind of like interesting interaction, she's just like, oh, I left it in your car.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, okay, because you ran out of time to really establish anything that would be fun to watch you get this back or
them
do anything
trying to
else.
fight for it or something.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like, I just copied it and put it in your glove box.
Yeah.
It's just so stupid and boring. Boring.
It's only military stuff. It's not it's not his pictures folder. That's what I really need.
Yeah, and then how long do we sit there and watch this stupid loading thing click forward?
Okay, so
1%.
And
no, this is where the WTF moment comes. And okay, the first one was the bat thing, which why do that? All of a sudden, you've just changed the dynamic of
Batman flies now. Is that a thing?
No, I was no, seriously, because it's a distraction, right?
Right.
To have no explanation for it is just distracting because it's like what? Okay, and then they have this. When he's uploading the thing, he falls
like
asleep.
A dream sequence.
He has a dream sequence out to the desert with these flying wing creatures, and he's fighting people, and he's trying to get the piece of Lex Luthor's or the kryptonite that Lex Luthor's trying to get. Turns out that he got his guys turned on him.
When he walks up, there's a symbol in the sand, and this is a symbol of Omega, and I guess that's a big thing in the DC universe. That's probably like the Thanos, I'm guessing, of this universe.
That's Darkseid. Yeah, Darkseid is the Thanos of that universe. But
and they said that Lex says at the very end of the movie, like they know we're here, they're coming. So I'm assuming that's
there's got to be a bigger
big baddie, right?
Yeah.
Well, and that might actually the Green Lantern Corps movie. I think is going to be the Guardians of the Galaxy of the DC. So because they're like Green Lantern, there's like they cover all the like 2,000 and something sectors
planets,
of the universe, not just planets, sectors.
Yeah,
whatever.
Because there's multiple planets in a sector.
Okay,
2 Green Lanterns assigned to each sector. So
darkest night, and brightest day. Go ahead.
But I'm just saying that I think that movie will be what introduces Darkseid and those people into coming to Earth for whatever reason it is.
Right.
Well, it's another Avengers or it's Marvel thing. They're planting those seeds.
That's
for
fine.
the big thing, which is fine, but no one knows what that symbol is. I had to Google it.
But there's also a couple other things. If you noticed, the guys who were turning on, the guys who were originally helping Batman had
the Superman
sign on there. So it's obviously a future. He's seeing something in the future is what I see.
Right.
So
there definitely
Superman's a bad guy because he's always said that. Like, what if he has the power at any time to
there is a whole storyline. There's a whole
story.
storyline about it.
So that's from an actual thing.
Yeah, where Lois Lane is killed.
Yeah, there's that crazy guy that they don't explain at all who's like...
It's Cyborg. That looks like
was
Cyborg.
That Cyborg?
Wait,
Cyborg who comes through. Cyborg,
in the time jump thing,
that's
right?
Cyborg.
I didn't know that was
So
Cyborg.
it's time traveling Inception because he's like in his dreams.
Right.
Yeah,
so
it's
Lois
just
is
like,
the key.
Lois is the key, save Lois.
Right, because there's a whole thing where Lois dies and Superman loses it. Joker kills Lois Lane and then Superman loses it. He sees no good in
That's something
humanity.
that they're doing. Why seed that in this movie?
Because and this is my point, you're ham-fisting the whole thing. Why do that? You don't need to. You don't need to. You don't need to show us your playbook. Like, you don't need to.
Keep us surprised.
And here's a couple other problems with the movie. Like, they feel, and again, I'm not a movie guy, but they tease you, and you're like, ooh, and then they just show you. It's like, there's your movie needs to be lingerie, not completely nude. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and I know that's a weird analogy, but it makes sense in this case. They show you when they pull up the metahumans, right?
Yeah.
They show you the Flash symbol. They show you the Aquaman symbol.
Wonder Woman.
They show you all the symbols. That's all we needed.
But then they
clicked on the files. And everybody's got their own video. Oh, there's there's the Flash. There's
like,
freaking
dude,
Khal Drogo. He's Aquaman. They show everything, and it's none of it. I wrote that down. None of it's necessary.
No, it's
have the symbols, and then you get the little nerds that are like, ooh, what's that?
Like X-Men does it, where they show Hank McCoy on the list, or they do they say Remy LeBeau or whatever the Gambit's name, or they do like little things like Thanos turns around at the end of the movie. That's all
just the
we
tease.
need. Just the tip, okay?
Right.
That's all you need to learn, DC. But the problem with this movie is like I said, it just feels like it's trying. Zack Snyder already, in my opinion, just has he wants to tell a very impactful narrative in a movie that isn't really asking for it. And sometimes it comes across like there are moments in this movie where it does feel strong and epic. You know, like as much as you guys make fun of the Martha thing, I actually enjoyed that part when he's like, "You got to save Martha." And
why'd you say that name?
No, but I did.
Why?
I know, but I actually like that.
Why?
I just feel like after all the reasons building up, the whole entire movie, why you hate Superman, and just like a name, and that's what this says.
It reminds.
Oh, you're right.
No,
We're
but that's
cool,
not. But that's not how it went. It wasn't completely like that.
Yeah,
but
it was. All he said was her name. What?
But the battle in the desert. Going back to that. So obviously, this appears that Superman has some kind of army. If this is some type of flash forward future event that's going to happen in these movies, Superman has some kind of vigilante or Batman.
So I don't know anything about this, but why? It's another thing. Like, why have any of this in the movie? What does it do? Nothing.
It just seeds future events.
Maybe
but
he
you
was
can
not
explain
looking
that
into the future. Maybe he was looking at a different dimension. Maybe
well, then it doesn't matter. Then it doesn't matter. It's a complete waste
I
of time. And it's so out of place. It's not explained. The dialogue's actually difficult to hear when Cyborg's like coming through and saying weird things. It's just, why? The whole time I'm like, the movie's long. It's like 3 hours. And, there's certain parts that whenever I watch a movie now, I'm like, what could be taken out and what should be expanded on? And this is one where I'm like, and the clip when they're showing all the different metahumans like Aquaman, that scene's like 5 minutes long. Like, take it out.
Slowly clicking on each of the video files.
Apparently,
I feel like that scene with the desert was like they wanted to keep that in because they liked the way the trailer went with it. Because it was
they
like,
showed Batman in the jacket, the trench coat.
Yeah,
cool.
It looked cool.
But I like the idea. But again,
and...
I like the idea of Superman losing it. And what do? Like, he's unstoppable. That's a cool storyline. But that's not in this movie, so stop. The only thing it does, the only explanation I can have is it furthers Batman's motivation to stop Superman. But he didn't need it. He was already doing it. You know what I mean? Like, the thing I will say about Ben Affleck, like when he sells Batman pissed off, he does a good pissed off. He does a good pissed off Batman.
Batfleck eyes.
Like when he's talking, he was like, "There's a 1% chance." We have to take it as an absolute certainty. Like, he sells it.
He's a good actor.
No, he is.
That makes sense.
No, but I don't think Henry Cavill is a bad actor. I don't think Jesse Eisenberg's a bad actor. I just think it's strange decision making for those characters. And again, I don't mind new takes.
Director acting, so it's like,
well,
why did they make a kryptonite spear instead of kryptonite bullets or like a kryptonite batarang?
It's called a comic book, man. I mean, it's
I'm just
dramatic.
saying, like, I know, but okay, there's a cartoon where Batman makes all the things to stop everybody, and one of the things he makes is like kryptonite bullets to stop Superman. It's like
the smoke grenades.
Why do you? Yeah, that was cool.
But why stop there?
But why? Yeah, but then he's like, I'm gonna make smoke so I can take kryptonite and grind it up into a smoke that I can get him to inhale.
The other problem,
but then the other one I have to use this brute force spear.
It's more symbolism, right? But I guess the problem that I also have in this movie is. Again, I feel like I keep crap, and I was super excited about this movie.
I know you were.
Which says a lot. It has to do with, Batman. He starts to get to the point where I'm like, you're motivated. They could have subtlety could have explained this because I guess Alfred kind of explains. He's like, hey, like when you start feeling powerless, that's when you start doing things that are real cruel, and when he starts pulling him. Superman on that wire, and then he swings him around and he talks about something about his parents dying. Again, the dialogue was all over the place, but he says something about how he feels like something was taken from him, and I'm like, Superman had nothing. Like, now you're moving on to the borderline of like, you're a dick, like just for the sake of like, you're frustrated with your life. Like, it's such a strange
place to take it.
Yeah, and the one thing about this movie that is,
you keep saying the one thing.
I know,
There's a lot of things.
A lot of one things. This movie is dark both in tone and in lighting. There is no light. This movie is so dark.
Sun. Where's the sun at?
Oh my god!
That's what I was actually thinking. I was like, well, how is Superman even have any strength?
You're like, where's the sun?
Right? How does he have any strength at all?
No, it's just the whole movie is in at night. The whole movie, like every shot is dark. It's just like you can't. And I get Man of Steel was Kansas cornfields, and you had New York.
Even during the Battle of Metropolis, there was all light time. So
yeah. I don't understand why this movie, a lot of it, I mean, we were in a decent theater, but it was just like, there's parts I'm like, what's going on? I can't see anything.
And, taking it back to some other things. So, like, during the Doomsday fight, the guy tells the president, like, hey, this is an enemy that gains power from what we do. And then he's like, oh, launch a nuke. Like,
no, but that was before. They shot the nuke. But again, no consequences.
Yeah.
Superman gets shot with a nuke. Looks like he's dead. They actually show a shot of him like, holy crap, like Superman died. I was like, wow, that was, again, a bold choice. That's cool. So go with that.
And one of the shots of the sun we see, or the light
and then
of
immediately,
the sun, and then he's fine.
No consequences. No consequences. Like, and they launch a nuke. They have the idea of a nuke, and they launch a nuke, and it goes off within, what, a minute?
Yeah.
Like, launching a nuclear weapon should be a big deal in your movie. Huge deal. there should be deliberation. There should be people sweating, people saying, no, don't do it.
See, I'd be upset if there was all a build-up and it still did nothing.
No, but that's, again, no, but that's a bigger
It's
problem.
10 minutes building up to this nuke.
Right, but that's my point. There's no consequences.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a bigger problem. But I'm saying you launch a nuke, it goes off, and the only person who gives any subtlety to how crazy that is, even if it is in space and there's no casualties, I'm pretty sure, even if you shot a nuke off in space, there might be some
Fallout and stuff.
yeah,
maybe.
or something. Like I'm not a physicist, but I'd say I don't think it's nothing changes on this planet. You know what I
Why
mean?
did you get blown back to the Earth when that explosion was under them? Wouldn't it launch?
I don't know. It doesn't. That part I'm not too
Depends
worried
how
about. But
far
the
in
problem
space
is
they
the
went.
Doesn't make any sense.
only person who provides any kind of subtlety as to the magnitude, no pun intended, as to the nuclear explosion is Batman when he goes, "Whoa." I don't know what he says, but he says something like,
No,
"Oh
it's
my
more
gosh." No, but he says something like, "Oh my god." You know what I mean? There's no consequence. You just shot off a nuke. You know what I mean? Like, they called POTUS, like, they had the guy stick the key in, they pulled it out, but it all happened in, like, in movies when someone's gonna shoot a nuke, they have the key in and they're like, Mr. President, we're ready, and he's like, do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we just did that. They were like,
There was a pause, and he said, "Fire at will." There's a brief
no,
pause.
not really, man. There's no dramatic. And then, again, Superman gets hit. He looks like he's dead. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, bold choice. You're going to kill off Superman with a nuke, and we did it. Like, that's a cool storyline. Like, we killed Superman. And then, no.
That'd be a horrible, stupid
No, I know, but at least
storyline.
it's something different, and at least something has consequence.
I know, but we know that this is leading into like a Justice League. The idea
And that's the
of
problem.
killing off any of your main characters is stupid. It's just stupid. Don't do that.
You know, then they
Like,
should have
there's no
killed off
reason.
Martha, or they should have killed off Lois Lane. Those would have been interesting. Or you don't have
No,
to kill
don't
off
do that.
anybody.
They'll kill off Lois Lane in a future movie, apparently.
No, but it's well, again, I appreciate that
didn't
storyline.
Need to? What they needed to do was make a light hero. A light villain that everyone had a reason to team up against. That wasn't Doomsday. That they could just gather together and fight, and then move on and start collecting this team, because they're gonna have Aquaman movie coming up. They're gonna have these Cyborg. They're gonna have
Woman's coming
Martian
out
Manhunter at some point.
Flash.
You know what I mean? Flash. Yeah. Arrow. Like all these other people join and have
Yeah.
like just start it off fun.
Was there a
Like,
reason
let's
why?
have fun?
Was there a reason why Wonder Woman was in this movie? Was she necessary at all? Do you think?
No, I don't think so.
Not
It's
at
just to show the Trinity. It's to show the three, the leaders
Oh,
of
those are
the
the main three.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much. I mean, well,
Yeah,
I don't know
they're-
that Wonder Woman's any more,
But she's a founding
centric
member.
as like Aquaman, but yeah.
Well, I think she's more known. Wonder Woman is by far more known by the general
Well, they got to
audience
sell the
than
next
Aquaman.
movie. 'Cause I think Wonder Woman is the next after
Yeah.
Suicide Squad.
No,
which is technically
and
the
here's the
same
thing:
universe.
Suicide Squad, at least tonally, has a really good chance because of how dark and brooding and non-fun
It knows what it
this
is,
movie is. I hope that they embrace the fun of. I want an Ocean's 12 movie. It's a heist movie where we're rooting for the bad guys, but then the bad guys do stuff that's like, oh wait, they really are bad guys.
the guy in the
like they
face.
shoot somebody, like in Ocean's 11 or Ocean's 12 or Ocean's 11, they'll have a thing where like someone's, like their plan gets kind of foiled and they have to act quick and do something, but they don't kill anybody. They do something very clever and they just get away. And she's gonna turn and just shoot the person and be like, yeah, they can't catch us. And like that's gonna be interesting. It's a different take, and it seems like from the trailer, the more and more I've seen the trailers, it seems like they're embracing the fun. Like just the song, picking the Queen song, is great. And then, like at the end, like why are you breaking that? Like we gotta go fight. We're bad guys.
Too,
I like that. I want it to be heavy because this movie is so heavy-handed on
It'll
the
be
opposite
campy,
scale.
right.
Yeah, be campy, and I think that's the one thing that this movie actually might help Suicide Squad out about. Other than the fact that I think there is going to be some reservations from some people that now you have a fan base that's gonna. I think people will be upset, and I think at the same time people will be disinterested.
My thing is, like, Zack Snyder is heading this whole universe. Like, he said out front, like, this is his universe, this is how he wants to do it. But after this movie, do you think they're going to be like, maybe you're not directing, maybe you're executive producing one, we will talk to you, but
Perhaps.
Are you going to direct the next Batfleck already said that he's going to be directing his own, right?
Yep.
So, like, is he going to direct the next Justice League movie? Do you think
They
Warner
might have
Bros.
to
will
think
give him
about
the
it.
keys again?
I think they'll think about it. I mean, it's got to be something that gets brought up. Here's the thing about Zack Snyder. One of the biggest criticisms about Man of Steel is the just utter destruction of Metropolis, and it plays into this movie. But again, no consequences.
They're like they have utter destruction. Like, it's an abandoned port, guys. We can go we can go ham here. It's okay. It's abandoned. No one's here.
No, but it's not even right, and that's fine. But it's still just like, everything is an explosion. It's like
Throw
Michael
Wonder Woman into
Bay's
those
like,
tanks, and I think you and I looked at each other like, why?
like everything doesn't need to explode, and it's just
It's
like
just
every
a big
time.
explosion on the screen, nothing else, just fire. It's just like, this is stupid.
Yeah, and it's again, I just don't.
He might do a better job at a second Justice League movie though, because by then there'll be multiple single movies out, so
Right.
things will make more sense. There will be more of an unfolded universe.
Yeah, but you're sure going to
But
have
just-
pacing problems.
I
And
feel like
stuff.
we were
That's
just
how he
thrown
is.
into this though. Yeah, and like I said, I think from a comic perspective, it felt very comic book like for the pacing and things like that. So I don't know. It might be easier to do a second one.
I don't know. I just think you have a lot of executives at Warner Bros. Scratching their heads like,
You know why this makes me mad on a bigger scale is the DC animated movies are so good.
So good. Yeah.
So good.
But
Fantastic.
they assume you know who the Justice League is.
But at the same time, I just watched the one Gods and Monsters where it's like a alternate universe where like all the bad guys are the good guys and they kill everybody and they do all and there's a big concern about them being like so
Right.
powerful no one could stop them. It's a totally new brand new story, and they tell it in such an interesting and unique way. And the pacing is good. There's pauses in the action. There's dialogue that is. You need to show. I get the scene with Clark Kent and Lois Lane in the tub. It's to show his human side, to show that he really is more human than he probably is alien.
You can't kick your shoes off.
What do you mean?
Do you know how much time to kick your shoes off? You got to get in the tub with all your clothes on.
Well, the first thing, it's funny, the society today is like, where it's, I'm like, I hope he doesn't have a cell phone in his pocket because that's expensive. But all right, maybe he has a S Galaxy 7 or whatever,
see,
so
we're
it's
good.
waterproof.
3 meters.
So stupid. But it's just like I said, the next movies that they have coming out, the next one is going to be Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman. So Suicide Squad is this year, Wonder Woman, and then Justice League Part 1 is supposed to come out in 2017.
already? Crap. I thought they were doing Aquaman in between that.
No, then it'll be The Flash, then it'll be Aquaman, then Shazam, and then Justice League Part 2, then Cyborg, then Green Lantern Corps.
So
That's
Green
what
Lantern Corps is never going to happen. It's going to be canceled.
2020 is
It'll
what
be
it's slated
canceled
for.
before then. It'll
Here-
be like Fantastic Four 2.
yeah, I mean, it's in pre-production right now, Justice League Part 1. So, I mean, they probably already have storyboards. They probably already have a script or something going on.
They just need to learn that you don't have to take the
2017.
storyboard right into the movie. Like, you can make a story that makes sense.
Yeah.
So Ben Affleck was considered to direct for the Justice League movie, it says, but they explained that they wanted to go with, I guess, Zack Snyder in this. I'm excited. I don't. It's weird. This movie feels like it wants to be a movie that doesn't explain a lot, but then explains everything point per point. Do you know what I mean? Like the
And
parts
then
that were
over-explain stuff.
right.
that's
The
unnecessary.
parts that don't need explanation. If you're a comic book fan, get explained, and then the parts that
Need explanation, don't get explained.
yeah, and even if you're a comic book fan, you're just it's a distraction. Everything in this movie, there's so many WTF moments. Like I swear to God, that the part when he is the cyborg and the desert thing, it's just so it's in the middle of like a good. We're doing it. We're doing it. Like we're going through the pacing of the movie. He's going to learn about the metahumans. We're going to get a cool teaser to all the other stuff they're going to do, and then the bigger conflict of Lex Luthor knows all of them, but they don't know him, and like that's cool. Like I like that the bad guy is one step ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
But then it's this. Let's cut to this weird thing and just pull you out of the movie entirely. And I'm thinking, is this a flashback? Is this something in the future? And it's just
And then the time traveling inception, by the time he wakes up and he starts clicking on stuff,
You're just
the
like,
audience
what?
is like, wait, what was that? Can we
Plus,
rewind or something?
Didn't
What the
he
hell was
wake
that?
up twice? Because he woke up
He
from
woke
the
up,
desert,
saw Cyborg.
then he saw what we think
Yeah,
is
what we
Cyborg.
think.
And
I think it's Cyborg.
just super weird.
yeah, just weird
But
choices.
Cyborg doesn't come out until 2019. Why you
well,
gotta
he'll be in Justice League Part
Yeah,
1.
I guess. Wait, I have a couple like technical questions. Maybe you guys can answer.
Sure.
The ship where the bad guy. Why did I forget his name?
Zod.
Right. So that ship. Where did that ship come from? Was that the original ship
The Man
that
of Steel
crashed on?
ship.
Yeah, it's the one that he came.
Not
in
the
on.
one that Zod came in on. Was it that one?
Well, they had multiple ships, remember, and so there was a thing that was terraforming, and then there was multiple ships that came out of that. So I think it was probably the ship that was. Well, here's actually what's interesting: that shot from the Indian Ocean, it's huge. That big chunk that's out in the middle of the ocean, that appears to be the terraforming.
Yeah.
But then the ship that's crash landed in New York appears to be kind of like the Dreadnought or whatever you want to call it. Like
That was Zod's ship.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so was it explained in Man of Steel that they have this archives of all of Kryptonite.
That was explained.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
but again, it's like
that was sent with Clark Kent. Like he had that.
Oh, it was Clark Kent's ship. Oh, because the activator thing he took out, right?
That little thing.
The flash drive.
Zod took it from him, I think.
The flash drive.
The flash drive.
The Kryptonian
It
flash
had
drive.
all their DNA built into it.
Yeah, I just don't
That's
like. I don't like
right.
the
That
idea
makes more
that he's the first one to. It's been here for 2 years, and no one's thought to take the hand of the dude that ran the
even the
ship and
hand,
just
the
pushed
fingerprints.
No, just grab
Sliced out
his
his
dead
finger-
body and put it on there. Like, and then the ship just immediately was like, "I'm going to do everything you have to say." Like, it's so simple. Everything is so the bad guy gets everything they want in such an easy and effective way, and it actually cuts against, in my opinion, Lex Luthor's like genius, right? Like he feels like it's just such a weird choice. He's this kind of sociopath, kind of off his rocker, billionaire who is obviously a genius because he's like doing
And he's
procedures.
very meticulous, right? Like he's always, like you said,
one step ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, and everything's for his benefit, but like this, it was just like, what was his, like I mentioned before, what was his plan after releasing Doomsday? It doesn't make any sense.
The other thing is, like, Doomsday really got injustice because he didn't even get his power was not explained at all. About
It kind of was. He
being able
gets
to
Yeah,
adapt.
he
He
gets
adapts.
stronger, yeah.
he adapts to
But
the.
he shouldn't be able to die because every time you kill him, he comes back to life, and you can't. Kill him the
It's
same
like
way
the cell.
again,
Yeah, he
you
keeps
know?
coming back,
Yeah.
and they might bring him back. I mean, that's the thing about this movie
Oh my
is
God,
it's
please
just
no.
again no consequences. It's just nothing has the whole thing about Superman. Should he be Superman? Really, just doesn't get answered. I mean, that's still a big debate. Like, yeah, he saved the world, but he did that the first time. What was any different here?
Nothing.
And everyone's happy because now we have to be.
Batman was involved. He can do no wrong.
And the part with Batman of, I failed him. I'm like, dude, it's such a swing. It's such a
that
swing.
stuff, that whole stuff, I'm telling you, that was pulled out of like the comic directly, like the death of Superman. I feel like they just had to include that because when someone came up with the idea, I know that we're gonna make Doomsday in this movie. Someone pulled out the Death of Superman comic book and started flipping through the pages, and those are the scenes
Screenboarding those pages.
where they're standing there outside of his thing. But the other thing is, like, there's a huge Justice League at that point. Like, people are upset that Superman's died. It's not just freaking
A few
Batman
people.
and Wonder
Yeah.
Woman sitting there. It's like everybody's
and again,
devastated.
it's just there's no pacing.
It's too
He's like
quick.
he tells her, "I love you." He tells Lois Lane, and you're like, okay, he's gonna go kill himself. But it's just like, that's it. Okay, bye. Like, it's not this moment of like, no, please don't. Like, is there anything else you can do? Try something. You're
Right.
Superman. Do anything.
And pass it to
Just
Batman.
go to the sun really
or
quick
Wonder
and then
Woman.
do it. Yeah.
No, I know, but I get that part. But it's
I
just
thought he was going to hand the spear off. I was
Lois,
like,
you do it.
she threw it. I mean, just like,
Yeah, there's a couple
be like,
parts that-
hey, Wonder Woman, come get this. He can't carry that.
I'm carrying. I got him on my last. All right, Batman, come here. Shoot this out of your gun or something. Like you throw it.
Here's
Yeah.
another interesting part.
Problem-solving.
Apparently, I mean, does Wonder Woman fly in this? I was actually asking that the whole time because I was
No,
like,
Yeah.
she just jumps far.
well, she flies in the
She
in the
flies like
comics.
towards him, like on the ground.
No,
like,
that's why she has an invisible jet.
She
She
flies.
can't fly. Why would you have an invisible jet if you can fly?
I thought she could fly. Maybe
She can fly in an
But she
invisible
like
jet.
zipped toward Doomsday.
Okay, well, then
like,
that's
she was
kind of the
flying
same
on
thing.
the ground. It's not like she was running. She was
Okay,
just like.
well,
No, she was just.
What did you guys think of her?
hard.
What did you? I mean,
okay.
obviously they completely short shrift. Like, and I get it. They're going to make a movie of hers, but it's now
She's hot.
she's hot. But it's just
I liked her costume.
I
thought it
do.
was cool.
I actually
Me too.
thought
I
I-
really like her costume.
and I like the whole idea that she's been here forever and she's she's like 100 years.
Well, that's the premise of the movie too. It's like in the 19 teens, I think. And then they had that really bad Photoshop picture of her and like Chris Pine and all that kind of stuff because he's in the movie. But I liked how her picture was completely not blurry, but Chris Pine and all the other characters were all blurry. It was so bad, so stupid.
But at the same time, I get what they were trying. There are moments in this movie I'm like, yeah, like the Batman fight scene when he goes in from the second level up and he like throws all the things on the guns that disable them and he jumps over the box and hits the thing and then throws the box.
That was
like,
the coolest part of the movie. The best fight scene was that.
yeah, and it was
The Batman fight scene.
yeah, and it was followed up. It was very impactful, and he's like, "I'll kill her," and he's like, "I believe you." Like that's totally Batman. Like Batman's not the guy that's like, "Okay, put your guns down," because he realizes if I put my gun down, the guy's still gonna kill her. And that's the thing about Superman that kills me. And I get he's Boy Scout, but he immediately there's no guarantee. I hate hostage situations in superhero movies because the bad guy's always gonna still kill the person. Don't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and there's so many times in this movie I'm like. You're making that's such a, no one would make that decision. No one. At least Batman is grounded in like, I don't trust anybody. I think everyone's a piece of crap. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at least he has an understanding as to why he's so he doesn't trust anyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Superman where he's like, I have your mom. The only way you can save your mom is if you go kill this guy or you know what I mean? And it's just like,
Oh, I gotta do it. It's my mom.
Fair enough.
You got me. Lex.
Alrighty.
yeah, it's
I'm
just,
Superman, but you
genius.
got me. Yeah.
I like how we did like 2.5 minutes on positives and we've done like 45 minutes on negatives.
no, it's not a good movie. I don't know if they change, because again, I think this movie is going to, visually it's beautiful. If you don't read any of the dialogue, the movie is beautiful. Looks great. I mean, the visual effects are fantastic. The Batmobile looks cool. I like the Batmobile chasing, other than the fact that I'm kind of turned off by the fact that he's just mowing down people,
Right.
which is, again,
Gets
distracting.
that random like Dodge Charger for no reason, whipping it around, and then flips it on those other two cars.
And then he, like,
explodes.
Superman, like, okay, the part where Superman rips it apart and you're like, oh, there's face to face, and then Superman just like,
This is your warning.
Call this a warning. And it's just like, God, they're so stupid. Like,
You will.
they ruin everything.
No, and the part that was originally distracting to me, and again, if you want to make Batman this person who does kill now, explain it just very quickly. Be like, hey, you don't need to. You can go back to doing what or something.
Do a movie. Just do it before.
No.
one.
But I
Yeah.
But, no, but
You had the Robin thing. I'll just do a movie.
Everything would be fine if it was done in reverse order. And I think they're going to do a lot of these movies are all going to be like prequels.
Is this going to be like how you should watch the Star Wars movies? Like watch all these movies and then
chronologically.
watch, what is it called? It was called something. They called it. Remember the machete cut of Star Wars? There'll be a machete cut of the DC universe.
It'll make total more
Because
sense.
because it would be interesting for him and the Batman and Robin telling Robin, don't because if it is Jason Todd was struggled with that. He always wanted to kill the person, and he's like, why? He's a piece of crap. I should kill him. Doing everybody a favor. And Batman's like
Punisher.
no, right. And then from there, Jason Todd gets killed or whatever, and then he's like, he's right. And that's because here's the first part: Batman in that car chase scene, because that's really kind of the first part you see of Batman doing stuff like heavy action. He runs into that car, which I'm like, maybe they lived.
Yeah, right.
Right, that's fine.
Huge explosion.
I'll
of
extend
fire.
reality that the car flipped over, but then he cable tows it and then drags it while it's flipping over. I'm like, yeah, those people are dead. Like they're dead.
I think I looked at you and you were like.
I was
And
like,
then you mentioned comment like they gotta have. He has to kill people now.
well, I'm like, it's just one of those things where, again, if you're not a comic book fan, I don't know if it's a big distraction, but from a comic book fan, I'm like, wow, you didn't really give me any motivation as to why he doesn't have that role anymore, and now it just feels like you just randomly, unilaterally made a choice. And
I feel
again,
like everyone
I'm not.
knows that about Batman. He doesn't kill. Everyone knows that.
I mean, that's the
So
whole
if he's
thing.
going to, that's cool, but that should be a big moment. It should be explained.
Right? There's again lack of consequence. Anything else you guys want to talk about? I know we're going late. You're over there yawning.
I'm
Didn't you get
getting
enough
tired.
sleep in this movie?
Yeah, that's true. I did just take a little nap.
The movie was 4.5 hours long. You think you're gonna have that?
All right, so that's our spoiler review, unfortunately, of the Batman versus Superman.
There'll be more of these. They can only get better, I guess.
I hope so.
Right?
Okay.
I'll still go watch the other ones. I just love superheroes.
I just don't think they can get any worse. Like they're gonna be like, listen, guys, we can't do this again.
Well, here's the deal. If you get two that are bad, I think that they won't keep doing them.
We have 32 movies we got slated out, man.
Because I don't think DC characters have, I mean, some of them do, but have the following and the appeal of Marvel characters.
Now they used to.
The problem with that
don't
theory,
know.
though, is Guardians of the Galaxy proves you wrong. If you make a good movie,
A good movie, yeah,
doesn't
that's
matter.
true.
that's my point. Is like doesn't it the understanding of the character. Because look at Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2. Everyone loves Spider-Man, and that movie was terrible and didn't do well. So a character can carry you. It's a plus or minus, right? But I think at the same time, a good movie is a good movie.
But I'm just saying, if you make it bad movies,
With unknown
no
characters.
one's going to go see Aquaman because Wonder Woman that you knew sucked, Superman that you knew sucked. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not
absolutely.
going to go see
It's
Cyborg.
going to hurt the DC universe.
Who's
going to
go
down?
Cyborg? Honestly, who would see
That's
that?
what I said.
if
The
it
next
wasn't-
one. What's next? We said Suicide Squad. That one has to be good, but Wonder Woman is the next one that really has to be a good movie.
I don't know if I don't think these have to be good movies because again, remember, I mean,
people are going to go in the Justice League Part 1 thinking about this movie and being like, I don't know if I really want to see that. I think I'll just wait for the Blu-ray this time.
Yeah, I could,
Unless
I
Wonder
could see
Woman is
myself
really
in that-
good.
in that grouping.
Yeah.
We'll
Just
see.
wait. Just wait.
Just wait it out.
Especially if I know I've got Doctor Strange coming up, or I know that.
Now I
You
know.
know what I mean?
Those
Other
solid
movies
Marvel
that
ones.
actually matter,
And you
good.
know.
well, I didn't see Amazing
Infinity
Spider-Man
Wars.
2. I'm a huge Spider-Man nut.
Oh, I
and
did.
I didn't
Oh.
see it in theaters because and then
I
saw,
didn't see it in theaters.
That's
I
my
didn't
point.
see either of the Amazing Spider-Mans.
The
saw the
first
first
one's
one. It was
good.
good, yeah.
First one's okay.
I watched them both, but I didn't think either of them were
All
that
right,
good.
so speaking of a bunch of superheroes, let's hit on. You wanted to talk about a couple other things now. Let's get this bad taste out of our mouth. Let's talk about some other superhero stuff. You had something you wanted
Daredevil.
to talk.
Daredevil season 2. You guys, I think we're all.
I think I'm like halfway through.
Yeah.
I want to say.
So we'll get to kind of a what you doing. I gotta wait. Hold on.
Movie,
what you doing?
What
you doing? What you doing? Okay, sorry, I had to get it in. Okay, so you're with Daredevil.
Yeah.
You're about.
I'm episode 6, I think.
Yeah, we're not going to.
I think I'm like 4 or 5, but man, that show's good.
God, episode.
Punisher is so badass, man.
Awesome.
Bang.
Yeah,
he's so awesome.
And the thing about this movie, or we were talking about this because normally, like, I just finished Jessica Jones, which I encourage everybody to go see that.
The ending satisfying?
Yes, the whole TV
I'm
show.
like 2/3 of the way through.
There is a lull.
But
yeah, there's a lull
think
kind
it's
of in the
where
middle,
I'm
but it's interesting because it's less of a superhero TV show, as what you would traditionally think, and more of like a private investigator, cop drama. There are problems with the show, but overall it's a very, very good show. And the whole show is very satisfying. They do a good job of continuing a story. They do little cameos but they're not ham-fisted, not just because.
So there's a moment where Rosario Dawson mentions dating like a big guy. Is she with, what's his face in Jessica Jones?
I'm not going to tell you.
Cage.
I'm not going to tell you.
Talking about, yeah.
But not Luke
I didn't
Cage,
see it, but that's what I'm talking about.
But,
oh, yeah, Luke Cage.
but back to Daredevil.
Power Man.
The thing with Daredevil that we were talking about before is like I usually binge this stuff. Like I'll watch like 4 or 5 episodes in a row, and I'm like I almost don't want to do that with Daredevil because it's so good. I'm like I kind of want to take a moment to just enjoy this, and I don't want it to be over because I did watch season 1 like back to back and it was so good. And yeah, I haven't even gotten to like. I know there's another character, Elektra, that she's in the trailer.
I haven't gotten to her either.
I haven't gotten to her, and I'm like,
okay. So
I think I
you're
just
behind
finished
me then.
Punisher's arc.
So you just finished episode 4 because episode 5 introduces Elektra.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm done with
and we're not ruining anything because that's in the trailer. But it's just I'm looking forward to every moment
finished
of
with
this.
4?
I'm halfway through 4, so don't.
Oh, okay.
No, they have the way they have these characters.
It's a weird
they
arc.
Feels so. It is a weird arc. I don't want to ruin it for David or the listeners, but the way they introduce the characters and they show the characters, they just feel so natural. They feel like real people,
right?
With these, and they're not like crazy abilities, but just with the fantastical,
shooting skills,
right? Because like Daredevil's amazing acrobatics, and it just. I don't know. It doesn't.
I mean, he has that hearing thing, but it's not like he can't shoot laser beams out of his eyes.
But the thing is cool is what they also do is they introduce he has the ability to see and hear very well, right, through sonic and radar or whatever.
Smell.
But they show little twists of that are the result of those powers in very unique and interesting ways, and they kind of slowly. It's kind of like a good video game, right? When you start a video game and you're kind of this like a superhero type of character, you get cool abilities, but then they slowly give you even better abilities and slowly give you extra. Oh, I can't wait to use that because now I can jump. I think of God, what was that? Microsoft game where you get the little balls and you get more power. What is it called? They're coming out with a sequel. What is it called?
I don't understand.
Oh man, I can't think of it. You're like part of the justice, and you're like a superhero. God, I can't think of it. It's called. Go ahead, keep talking, but I have to think of it.
Crash
now.
Out. No.
Oh God, what is it called? I don't know. Anyways, the part of that game that's cool is that you get these little orbs.
Crackdown.
God, I was like,
they are coming out with new effects. Like, I can't wait for that game. They give it so much fun.
Right, but the point of that game is like you have to jump. You get to jump like you get this cool jumping ability, which you can jump pretty high. But by the end of the game, you can like leap like
Hulk size.
Yeah, like huge chunks of distances. And that's what's cool about these TV shows is they have special abilities, which you're excited to see. But they introduce it. They slowly give you the character gets a little bit more and a little bit more.
But they're not going to be like what Jordan said. They're not going to shoot laser beams or anything like crazy. It's cool. It's grounded in reality.
Feels natural.
At the end of the day, you're still punching the crap out of somebody. You're not.
Right.
And then I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah, don't give anything away.
But there's like a relationship between Daredevil and Elektra, and it just feels like I was a little like leery. When I was like, why? Jennifer Garner.
Touch my face in the rain so I can see what you look like.
It's like I don't care about this character at all. But they do. I just can't. There's a specific scenes.
Yeah, don't tell anything.
And I know when you guys see them, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's just cool. They're not doing anything super cool, but it just feels like two real people with these skills, and they're just being them. You know what I mean? And I just love it. It's
like how the first episode. You know, the Punisher is a big deal in this. I mean, you've seen all the marketing and stuff, and like you see shots of his face. You don't see his full face till the very end, and he says the one word, and it's like, oh, that's such a cool introduction for that character.
Yeah, and they again, it's what's not to go back to Batman versus Superman. It's a lot of the same things, right? Daredevil doesn't kill people, and Punisher does. He does whatever it takes. That's the type of the interaction of those two characters in this TV show is what Batman versus Superman should have been.
Right.
You need those moments of dialogue of Batman and Superman discussing their views on how to solve problems and how Batman thinks Superman's a half measure, although he has all this power, but he fails to use it in any good way. You know, all you do is create more problems. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the one who actually gets things done. You know, if I had your abilities, I'd get, you don't know how lucky you are. Like, those are the conversations I want, but there's none of that.
There was no good, unless I slept through it. There was
Yeah.
no good conversation
Yeah.
between the two at all. And there was a good 25-minute dedicated where no action happened in Daredevil with just those two characters interacting. And it was like my favorite scene I've ever seen.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's
it was just amazing.
So, anything else you guys want to talk about? What you doing, Wise?
I don't know. I need to be just sleeping.
Okay, let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. Okay, so again, if you're listening to the audio version, go to YouTube. You can check us out there. We have our audio on iTunes, on SoundCloud, as well as on Stitcher Radio, Jordan's favorite.
Stitcher's the best.
Stitcher's the best.
Put
it on the back of the box.
So I was looking at, on Stitcher, and then I was like scrolling down through other podcasts.
Yeah.
And then like I got like 5 down, and it was like Sit Down Standard, and I was like, what? We're on like
5 pages?
No, like 5. Like I was just
1, 2, 3,
scrolling down,
5,
like
yeah.
1, 2, 3, and I was like, no way. I was like, no way. We're on number 5. Turns out it just set that up for me.
Yeah.
I had it downloaded on
like
another
an algorithm
device
or something,
yeah.
because it wasn't like a setting I made. I only have a couple
Podcasts you may like.
Yeah, and
Slowly but surely, we'll get there.
yeah, I know. But I went and downloaded another device, and it was like, what kind of stuff do you like?
Yeah,
and then it like
exactly.
tailors it to your stuff.
And then
I was excited.
follow us on Twitter and on Facebook, as well as on Instagram at Sit Down Standard. And if you want to email us, wow, you guys are really tired.
I'm sorry.
What's the email address, Joe?
Sitdownstandard@gmail.com.
Wow, so exciting. Jordan.
Sitdownstandard@gmail.com.
There we go. Jordan, what's the email address?
Sit Down Standard at Yahoo.
always
At lexcorp.com.
LexCorp. There we go. All right, till next time. Bye.
See ya.
Later.